All right, Platoon, fall in. It's the Joe and the Jarhead Show. I am, as always, Joe, representing United States Army. With me, as ever, my homie,
Jarhead, United States Marine Corps. It is cold in here again.
It is really not.
What you talking about?
It's cold outside here.
It's
all
cold
right in here.
Don't pretend.
It's not hot in here.
We all see you trying to play tough there, Joe.
I'm not playing.
Okay.
Tough. I'm infantry.
So all you do is pretend. On the show tonight, we got good stuff coming at you. We got that shooting down in Pensacola. Lots to talk about there.
Yep.
We got the biggest drug in America. We're going to talk about that. And then we should talk about... can we talk about Russia some more?
If you gotta.
I mean, they bring good stuff.
They really do. I mean, thank you, Russia, for being such a large part of our show content. We really should charge you ad money, but whatever.
Right. Go to patreon.com, find Joe and Jarhead, and support us, Mr. Putin. That would be great.
Seriously. No, we don't want your name on there.
Okay. Before we get started, should we start off with a history article?
I think we should. So this week in history, 1992. Several of your friends
Hoorah, guys!
went to Africa. In 1992, things were getting pretty bad in Africa, especially in Somalia, where the president military dictator had seized power and had basically broken the country down into rival clans that fought for control of 50,000 people killed in the fighting, 300,000 dead of starvation.
Gosh, dang!
Right?
When was this, like in that year, or
this was in
since he took over?
between 88 and 91.
Oh my gosh!
Right? So President George H.W. Bush decided that that was enough, and he sent in the Marines as part of Operation Restore Hope.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. If it had just been Marines, I think it would have been cool, but it was a UN mission.
Oh, so a bunch of wannabe Marines had to join them, huh?
No. I don't think you could even accuse the other peacekeepers of... First of all, peacekeepers. They're not wannabe Marines. They'd be war keepers if they were wannabe Marines.
Nah! Well done, sir.
I'm here for you, homie.
Thanks, man.
They did okay. They kind of managed to sort of get things under control before the UN essentially resumed control and everything went to crap again. And then things just kept declining until October of '93, when Operation Gothic Serpent was launched. That's the operation that they show in the movie Black Hawk Down, where we lost 18 soldiers and 2 Black Hawk helicopters, and President Clinton, who had taken over since then, after Bush lost the election, he pulled everybody out. He pulled all Americans out.
Why would you pull such a dirty move like that?
I don't know, because by any measurable metric, we won the crap out of that battle.
Oh, yeah, of course.
It was like 1,800 to 18. 100 to 1 kill ratio, I'm okay with that.
And look at Somalia now. I mean...
Yeah, what's gotten better?
Nothing's changed. It's like one coup after another there.
Right?
One dictatorship after another.
If you look throughout history, every place the United States has gone and invaded has been better when we left. 100% of the time.
Even in this case, in Somalia?
Well, no, we weren't in control. It was a UN operation, so of course it went downhill. But every place that we have gone, and I mean, look at Iraq now versus Iraq when we first got there.
When Saddam Hussein was towing his Olympic athletes behind a truck because they didn't run fast enough.
Right.
Wow, that's brutal.
Afghanistan is a little better. I mean, the people are at least more fluent in English now, I guess.
Well, I mean, it is since the Russians were in there and had that place,
dude, Afghanistan's the graveyard of empires. There have been 6 different empires that have tried to conquer that place. Like, they're never going to do anything with their own thing. But look at the Philippines. Look at Puerto Rico. Look at the United States of America. Look at in all these places. Look at South Korea, because there's still a South Korea. Look at the places we've left. We left Somalia. It went downhill. We left Vietnam. There is no South Vietnam.
Right.
So.
Go us.
Go us.
We're awesome. So the Marines could have done the job if Clinton would have left them alone and if the UN didn't get involved.
You know what? If anybody could freaking beat people and beat tribal clans into submission, it would be, what, the 242,000 Klansmen of the United States Marine Corps? the biggest freaking military freaking tribe on earth.
Hoorah. Speaking of which, can we talk about those numbers on Black Friday again? The guns? How many were sold?
243,000, give or take.
Enough to arm the United States Marine Corps. Every single one of us.
Yep. In one day.
That never gets old to talk about.
It really doesn't.
Oh, I love it.
I love it.
Okay, on to something dirty. Let's talk about America's biggest drug. Got a couple headlines I want to talk about real quick.
Headlights?
I'm going to... Yes. That's a Jarhead smash up of...
Headline highlights? Headlights, just one word.
That's going to be a new thing.
I think it is.
Leave it on the show. Okay, I'm reading these verbatim. Reporter vents anger at man who groped her on live TV. Madonna proud as adult daughter appears in orgy art. I'm not making that up. That's a thing. Big orgy, 20 plus people on a stage in front of other people, naked orgy. Calling it art. That's a thing. That's a headline.
I mean, is there such thing as a clothed orgy? I've never heard of that.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I don't want to get into it. But okay, so I got a couple more. South Africa teacher admits to having sex with her students. Plural. Right? Okay, moving on. Human males being replaced by sex robots. You remember, man, how long? It was like over a year ago when you first brought up these sex robot stories. It was like the newest thing ever. Blew us away. Mm-hmm. And now it's everywhere. It's like this booming
Well, it's on
business.
Drudge every single day.
Yeah, I don't. Oh.
Like every time I go to search for headlines for our next show, it's like it's in one of the 3 columns on Drudge.
I can't. It still blows me away that is a thing.
Yeah,
I can't get over it.
That is going the opposite direction of where we were intended to go as children of God.
Right. So let's talk about this, because I call this America's biggest drug, but it's not quite a drug. It's more of a plague. The sexual immorality that runs rampant, unchecked, and uncared for through our nation and through our youth is crippling our countries, our communities, and our children, and ourselves.
Okay.
So I want to be perfectly blunt. I'm not trying to throw stones, because as somebody who spent 8 years in the Marine Corps, I'm not the person to do that.
You're definitely
because porn in the Marine Corps is kind of like MREs in the Marine Corps. It's just everywhere. Everybody's got their porn mag, so I don't want to be the guy to start throwing stones. I understand that we all have those struggles, right?
Yep.
So, but at the same time, I think it's important that we qualify people who sexually abuse children. You don't fall into this category. I think that you deserve
Correct.
a special death, as painful as possible. But at the same time, I'm not going to get in the way of Christ's atonement, because those people still are, they can still qualify for his forgiveness.
They're still God's children. They have not made exceptionally good choices with the agency God gave them. And their road to repentance will be long and difficult. But
yeah, it's hard for me.
Don't make me say it again.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
I acknowledge who they are, but I don't like it.
These headlines show that the ugliness of this sin is everywhere in every form. Obviously, I don't think that anyone who's listening or watching is surprised by this, right? No. Everybody who looks at the headlines, who's out and about in society, gets that this is a real thing. We're not making this up. It's out there.
Right.
So, what do we do about it? What's next, right? It's out there. It's ugly. It's a plague. It's taken over. I offer 2 steps.
Okay.
For us as Americans mainly, but as for a world, 2 things that we should do to combat this evilry. Okay. Step 1, take heart.
Okay.
So we recognize that it's out there, right?
Yes.
Do you need me to stop and go back so you can finish a joke or something?
No, I'm just wondering what evilry is. It's like the opposite of chivalry.
Evilry.
I like it. You know what? Headlights of evilry.
So step 1, take heart. Yes, this evilry exists. It's out there. It's amongst us. So we're aware.
Yes.
That it's there. But most importantly, Christ is also aware that it's out there. He's aware that we don't want any part of it, that we struggle with it, that we know that it's there, but we're trying to fight it. So take heart and remember that Christ is aware of you. Yeah. And that brings us into step 2. If you want to combat this, put on the armor of God per se, right?
Right.
put up your defenses, build strong walls against this. And I would say, just pray. And I hope that doesn't come out as like a cop-out or a lame answer.
It's not.
That should always be your go-to answer.
That's
right?
like your default setting.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. That should be what you go to when this stuff is out there and it's in your way. Now, I'm not trying to say you need to stop and pray every time you run into a dirty picture or you run into, dirty commercials or whatever, or it pops up on your Netflix show. But I think that you should be aware of it enough that it should be part of your routine, because this kind of evilry is everywhere, and we have to have better defenses up against it. So
don't quit, and make sure you're doing what you need to do to fight back. I like it.
Take heart.
Take heart.
Okay. Pensacola.
3 sailors killed, 8 wounded. Base security showed up and freaking smoked this dude.
This was on a naval base down
This was naval base, Pensacola, Florida. It's the northern panhandle of Florida. He wasn't American.
Yes, he was not.
He was a Saudi. He was a Saudi military student. I don't know how many of you know this, but we actually train foreign students here in the United States. In my officer courses, we had Romanians, we had Liberians, we had
you had a Pakistani too.
We had a Pakistani in my captain's class.
That blows me away.
Yeah, right? Like the number 2 state sponsor of terror. Yeah, we train them up. Israel? No, we can't. We're not allowed to train them.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah, I've never seen an Israeli student. Not ever. Saudis. Man, we had 4 Saudis in my class. That was unreal.
So do you not support that, or what are your thoughts there?
We sell them billions of dollars of military equipment. We are allied to them, to the Saudis.
Quotation marks, allied.
We are allied to them.
They're basically, that's one of those, your enemy of your enemy is your friend.
Right. They are
things.
A powerful nation, and they are religiously opposed to Iran. So they act as a check on that insanity over there. But at the same time, just because, they're the enemy of my enemy, that does not make them not hostile to us. They have been sending students over here for years and years and years. And it's weird because I'm looking back at my notes here, and of the 19 people involved in September 11th, 15 were Saudi.
15 out of 19.
15 of 19.
Wow.
And they were, trained and financed and figureheaded by another Saudi. You might have heard of him. His name was Osama bin Laden.
And these 15, they were educated here to some degree, right?
They're students. They're flight students at the Pensacola Naval Air Station. They're learning how to fly the equipment we sell them on our tax dollars. It's fun. So this guy was not a lone wolf.
Nope.
There were 6 others detained in this, including some who were filming the attack.
And this is not on the news. Why?
He's not a student. He's a member of a terror cell that was smuggled in to learn how to fly our equipment and then kill us.
And so
I don't see another way to interpret this.
Tell me why there's nothing about this on the news, and all I'm seeing on the news is still impeachment.
Because he was a Saudi.
So it doesn't fit the narrative.
Well, of the major networks, if you'll notice that they will always cover a mass shooting anytime there's a mass shooting, unless it was perpetrated by a Muslim, unless it was not a white guy, usually not an AR-15, and usually not against minorities.
So it's got to be a white guy with an AR-15. He's probably got to be Christian too.
That would help. This is not something that's going to go away. This is not the last time we will see stuff like this. We've seen plenty of green on blue friendly forces attacking other friendly forces in Afghanistan, where you'll have Afghan soldiers mixed in with U.S. units who just hose them with an AK one day because they've been Taliban the whole time, getting paid for, getting their training paid for, getting funded by American tax dollars,
just looking
trained
for that
and
shot.
equipped by Americans,
Waiting for that opportunity.
Waiting for that opportunity. I do not like this as a program. I think this puts Americans unnecessarily in jeopardy. If we want to send special forces over there to train them on how to use our equipment in their country, fine, do that. Do that. But to bring them here and allow them free reign to do stuff like this, no.
Yeah, it is hard. I mean, we do have to keep Saudi Arabia as close allies. They are necessary. It's a necessary evil because we can't be the only one over there beating on Iran and Pakistan and Afghanistan and everybody else over there in that tribal warfare nonsense.
Right.
Saudi Arabia is willing to help out. I disagree that we should be selling them billions of dollars worth of equipment. They have billions of their own dollars. They should be building their own.
Right.
But I agree. If we want to send them some of our own, maintain that friendship, I'm okay with that. But we should have learned our lesson in 2001.
Yeah.
When
agreed.
15 out of the 19 were Saudi nationals.
Agreed. Yeah.
And now with this last one, and I'm guessing the 6 people that were watching that were filming this, they were also Saudi nationals. Is that
Yep.
right?
Matter of fact, they were.
So to me, that's the final straw right there. You're
That's
done.
a terror cell.
Get out.
That is a terror cell.
You had your chance. So
And the King Salman of Saudi Arabia was, all the Saudi people love Americans and were, terribly saddened by this. I'm having a hard time swallowing that, Your Highness.
Prince Salamander.
Yeah, because you're not a good dude to begin with, and there's a lot of terror cells in your country.
Yeah, we all know that you straight up butchered Khashoggi, the reporter Khashoggi. Remember that?
Yep.
He had his whole 15 seconds in the media.
Right?
Okay.
What do you got?
Let's talk about Russia. Can we?
Might as well.
Yes. Thank you very much. Russia is a bully. Period.
That was a great article. Thanks, man. Can I go on to my stuff?
Right. Carry away. Vladimir Putin is a bully who always gets his way. Period.
Can I John Kerry this one?
Oh yes, please do.
Vladimir Putin.
It never gets old. All right, so for a couple years now, the most elite athletes in Russia have been caught doping. It's nothing. It's been happening for years. The athletes themselves get banned at the time from whatever sport they're in, whether it's Olympics or a national championship game. However, it's gotten so bad that now they are banned from all of it, from all national championships games, whether it's like an international, global, the soccer games or the Olympics.
Wow.
They're done. For 4 years, they can no longer send athletes there under their flag, and their flag can't be present there at these games or Olympic games, and their anthem can't be played.
Wow.
Boom. That's what you get for being a freaking bully. And these guys, they were 110% Vladimir Putin about it. They didn't care. And I imagine that most of these athletes were probably bullied into doping so that they could win, right? Sounds a very Russian.
A lot of it
type
is the
thing to
culture you grow up in, and Russia's a very proud culture. I mean, I suppose you should just be glad they were doping, and
not killing.
Well, no, I'm saying like
pump.
the amount of stuff they used to pump into freaking East German and Soviet athletes back in the 80s. I mean, they might as well just be full of dope and practice blooding.
Gosh dang. Poor guys.
Yeah.
So this is a good thing. Russia deserves it. They've lied about this. So the people, bear with me here, they're called WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency. WADA. Wouldn't you just love to work at a place called WADA? Yes. Yes, you would.
It sounds like a person from New Jersey asking for H2O.
WADA. Where do you work at, Jarhead? WADA. WADA? Yeah, I work at WADA. What do you say? No, sorry. Okay.
I dig it. Do we need to build a routine? We need to do a straight up friggin' Abbott and Costello routine out of this.
Oh my gosh, with some headlights?
Yes.
Evilry?
Yes.
Okay. To further prove my point, and I don't know if I needed to further prove my point that Russia's a bully.
Go ahead. You might as well. You got it this far.
They are currently having peace talks with Ukraine, and these peace talks are being mediated by Germany and France, in France. So these Eastern European countries, like Germany and France, they have given in to the bully.
Why would you let them do that? Like, as Ukraine, why would you agree to have France and Germany mediate this? They are dependent on Russian natural gas to heat themselves through the winter. That's not like an unbiased mediator.
Exactly. So the new president in Ukraine, President Zelensky, I don't know if I'm saying that right, he's a brand new president as of earlier this year. So his entire platform was peace with Russia, because Russia's in there, they're a bully, they're still in Ukraine. Then they're just slaughtering these people, right? They were at a death toll of 13,000. And this butchery just started back in 2014 when they annexed Crimea. So that was his platform, that's what he promised everybody, and that's what he's doing. Now get this, just for him to get a seat at the table to sit down in France with Vladimir Putin, he had to make concessions. He had to pull his own army away from what they're calling the front line of this little war between him and Russia. But the front line is in Ukraine. It's not like the boundary between Ukraine and Russia. They're like 100 miles into Ukraine. And Vladimir Putin said, if you want peace talks, pull your people away out of your own country.
I'm assuming Vladimir pulled his folks back too, right?
Yeah, he sure did not. Absolutely not.
Good times.
So, for me, when you have 13,000 people that have died fighting for your country and you give in to concessions like this, that's despicable.
That is horrendous. That is spitting on their sacrifices. So
let's talk about the epitome of a bully, and then let's talk about the schoolyard bully, right?
Okay.
So I don't know what you picture of a schoolyard bully, but I picture a shirtless guy on horseback.
Fights tigers?
Yes! Yes! Oh, any chance I can get to talk about Vladimir Putin with his shirt off on horseback, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, you could not. I'd be okay with that.
So you picture your schoolyard bully. Everybody knows who he is. He's a punk. Nobody likes him. But for the sake of the argument, he's selling a candy bar for less than you can get out of the vending machine.
Right.
So you got people who are going to him, hanging out with the bully, giving him money just because he's selling your candy bar for less than what it costs in the vending machine. Is that the right thing to do? Make deals with the bully?
I mean, clearly not. But
the guy who's beating everybody up, sending people with broken bones, sending those kind of kids home with bloody noses, broken bones. This is exactly how Vladimir Putin is running his show. He has natural gas. He has what Germany and everybody else over there in the European countries, apparently they're not Eastern, sorry. Jarhead will learn geography better.
More gooder.
I have a crayon here, and I have a map.
You
that's
do.
That's not going to help.
That's not going to help. That's Idaho map.
But France and Germany have done Ukraine dirty.
They have.
Especially those two countries, but the entire international community is, even the United States of America, we have done Ukraine dirty by standing back and watching this happen. Let other people get bullied.
Yeah.
It's not okay. And we don't have to do anything drastic. We have the power to do more sanctions. We have the power to put our thumb down more on Germany and say, stop doing that. That is not okay.
We do. I wish we would.
I want to share a quick scripture. This is in Galatians chapter 5, verse 1.
Okay.
For freedom, Christ has set us free. Stand firm, therefore, and do not submit again to a yoke of slavery. So to the people of Ukraine, stand up for what's right. I think your president's doing you wrong. I think you guys have it within yourselves to do the right thing. And the right thing is not to be bullied by Vladimir Putin. I get he's big and powerful. One of the most powerful armies on the planet, right?
Yep.
Doesn't mean you need to roll over.
No.
Keep fighting like Hong Kong, right? Take hope from them protesters.
Right.
Those guys know what they're doing.
They didn't even have an army. They didn't even have guns. They're making trebuchets out of junk. Ukraine at least has guns.
So, Ukraine, stay strong.
Yep.
Don't put up with that nonsense. Okay, enough with Russia's bullying us. You may have your turn.
Well, I'm just going to continue along in the lines of Ukraine because, evidently because of Ukraine, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi is proceeding forward with articles of impeachment against President Trump.
What does articles of impeachment mean?
Articles of impeachment is the formal charges brought against the president for which the House can vote to impeach him.
Okay. Now, I don't remember the exact verbiage, but I've looked this up several times, and the words in there are something along the lines of a heinous abuse of power or criminal activity.
Yeah, high crimes and misdemeanors.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not have sex with that woman.
Hashtag Bill Clinton.
Impeached.
Hashtag what woman, I had her killed. Hashtag Hillary Clinton.
Well done.
So this is a direct quote from Speaker Pelosi. Sadly, comma, but with confidence and humility, with allegiance to our founders and a heart full of love for America.
Oh my gosh.
Today I am asking our chairman to proceed with articles of impeachment.
Did she throw up in her mouth when she was saying this?
She
What garbage?
She can't throw up anymore. There's too much Botox in her throat.
Nah.
Yeah, the facts are uncontested. The president abused his power for his own personal political benefit at the expense of our national security.
They keep saying words like that.
Like uncontested.
Yeah, or undisputed.
I've been watching this on the news.
You're a brave man.
Dude, it's comedy gold. It really is. Just watching friggin' Adam Schiff and friggin' Maxine Waters and people like them try to do this it's comedy gold. But facts, the facts are uncontested. I haven't heard you state a fact yet. You like talk to the dog groomer of somebody who heard that there was a phone call from someone in France.
Did you say dog groomer?
I think so. Like there's
That's not
like
a fact, by the way.
secondhand supposition. So it's like someone supposes something and then spreads that rumor, and then someone else takes that rumor as fact and hands it to Adam Schiff.
Yep. So
And on that, the Speaker of the House is ready to impeach. Like the trial hasn't even the hearing hasn't even ended yet.
and she's already asking to
Yeah.
move forward.
Okay. Fairness in the judicial process. Okay.
I wish I remember that Republican's name, but there's a Republican. He was on the other committee. He was on Schiff's committee, and he would ask the same questions every time to every witness they brought forward. Do you have any knowledge of a direct crime committed by the president?
Jim Jordan?
No, it was somebody else. I don't know who
Okay.
it was. He wasn't very memorable. But he would ask those similar questions to every single person. Do you know who heard exactly what the president said, and did he say something that was criminal? Every time it was a no. Nobody hit. Plus, when they say uncontested and undisputed, so does that mean all the Republicans on the committee are not contesting it? They're not disputing anything? They're just going along?
No.
Because when you say uncontested, that's what I mean, that everybody's going
Agreed.
along.
Yeah, it's uncontested. There's no opposition to it. But that's not factually accurate. And I understand that Representative Ocasio-Cortez is more concerned with being morally right than factually correct. But in this case, it's an impeachment. Facts kind of matter. And
Facts
you don't have any, y'all.
Facts don't care about your feelings.
Correct.
Thank you, Ben Shapiro.
Hashtag Ben Shapiro. This is people in the service of corruption. This is people in the service of evil exercising authority over the American people. This is wickedness at its core. It goes beyond just starting off with a conclusion and cherry picking the data to suit your findings. This is the President of the United States. Mm-hmm. There have only been 2 other impeachments in history.
Clinton and
Johnson. Andrew Johnson succeeded President Lincoln. Both were convicted in the House of Representatives and acquitted in the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is going to happen here, even if you do this, Nancy? You know what? I hope this does. I hope this happens. I hope this goes through, and I hope that Mitch McConnell finds the courage. I'm not counting on this, but I hope Mitch McConnell finds the courage to actually just run this to the hilt.
And we've been saying that for
call
weeks.
Everybody on the stand.
Because that's what happens. Once the impeachment passes the House, then it goes to the Senate. And the Senate gets to run their own investigation. And they get to call anybody they want to.
Right.
And if Mr. McConnell's smart enough, which I agree with you, I don't think he is. I mean, he should be calling everybody out on the carpet. Call them all back. Comey, Clinton, all of them.
I believe that the Constitution is a divinely inspired document.
I believe that as well.
I believe that America is a divinely protected place. And I believe that corrupt politicians like this place that in jeopardy by swaying the American people against their own best interests to serve these politicians' best interest. And I find that reprehensible.
It's scary to me because you think of like Nixon and the whole Watergate scandal, right? Back in the day. And those secret institutions, those secret societies that they were building up to undercut each other, you had to really dig into that, right? There was some fancy investigative journalism to dig that up and to bring that to light.
Right.
Nowadays, they don't care. These secret societies, these secret institutions that they have built up in our government, they're out there for everybody to see.
Yeah, they're not secret about it, dude. They're doing it out in the open on CNN.
It's like, hey, this is what we're doing. Come join us. Do this criminal thing.
Right?
Yeah.
Vote the bums out. It's an election year coming up. Vote them all out, folks. Seriously, just get rid of them all. Clean the slate. Start over.
I'm down.
Word.
Hashtag term limits.
Word.
That's got to be a thing.
What do you got?
I got a Semper Fi for you, because that's the end of our show, brother.
Outstanding.
Headlights is over.
Headlights is over. Hey, we love you, Platoon. Your best audience on the internet. Yeah. Platoon dismissed.
You forget your line?
No, I'm looking at you like, I don't even want to let you say Semper Fi. I just want to like, cut. So Semper Fi
Wakanda forever.
What?
I'm sorry. Semper Fi.
Doesn't that sound like a vice presidential soft drink? Drink some Pensacola. Be awesome, wouldn't it?
Oh.
Yeah, dad joke for the win.
No.
Dude, I made both producers facepalm. How awesome is that? That's so cool.
You thought my evilry was bad. You're turning Pensacola.
No, I thought your evilry's awesome. Evilry and headlights, it's awesome. We should do this all the time.
So, quick question. That we have a picture of Vladimir Putin with his shirt off. Is there such a thing with Donald Trump with his shirt off?
Dude, yes. The Hong Kongers were holding that sucker up.
Oh,
There's a picture of
yes!
him on Rocky Balboa's body. There was another one where they superimposed Donald Trump's head on Big Show's body as he's getting ready to freaking just slam dunk some dude. It's glorious. You should look it up.
That never gets old.
It really doesn't. Unlike Putin with his shirt off. That gets really old. Because, dude, you are not a champion judoka anymore.
He thinks he is.
Dude, you have some serious furniture disease, brother. Like, your chest has fallen into your drawers. Like, put your shirt back on, Vlad.
So do you think Donald Trump's chest hair matches his hair? His
you know what? This show has gone off the rails. We're done. Hey, have a good night, Platoon.